IRS interactive tax assistant that helps taxpayers determine whether or not they can deduct personal taxes that they pay as an itemized deduction on Schedule A of their tax return. So this is for personal taxes, does not address any taxes that are related to business or rental property, as those are covered under different forms and different publications. So you're going to need your tax filing status, and you're going to need to know what type of tax that you paid during the tax year. So without further ado, let's begin. So we're going to go through and we're going to cover tax year 2023. So first question that it asks is, what is your tax filing status? So you can pick single, married filing jointly, married filing separately, head of household, or qualifying surviving spouse with a dependent child. So let's pick married filing jointly. Are you itemizing deductions on Schedule A? So anytime you see these blue highlighted phrases, you can always highlight them or select them to see what you're looking at. So the IRS created a separate page where it talks about itemizing deductions. You might benefit from doing that if you don't qualify for the standard deduction, if you had lots of out-of-pocket medical or dental expenses, if you paid interest on your mortgage or taxes on your house, if you had large uninsured casualty or theft losses, if you made large contributions to charities, or if you have total itemized deductions that exceed the standard deduction. So let's just say we're not certain. So what type of taxes are you talking about? So real estate tax, let's just select all of these taxes and see where we end up. All right. Are we talking about foreign real estate tax? Sure, why not? And then you can either deduct state and local income tax, or you can deduct sales tax, but you can't deduct both on your tax return. So let's just say that we live in a state where it's better for us to deduct sales tax. So now you have different deduction methods that you can use. So which one would you use? The actual sales tax, where you have all of your receipts, or the optional sales tax, which are basically tables based on your income. So let's say that we're going to use the actuals, and then what portion of the sales, what is a portion that were paid by either you or your spouse during the tax year? We'll just say all of them. And then were the actual sales taxes imposed on you? Yes, they were. Did you lease or purchase a vehicle in the year? Sure. What portion of the state benefit funds did you or your spouse pay? So we'll just select all, and they were imposed. So the reason the IRS asks whether or not a specific expense was imposed upon you, like a tax, is because generally, if you were paying someone else's tax, that's not considered a tax deduction for you. So part of the criteria for deducting a tax that you paid was that you had to owe the tax. You can't just be paying taxes on like your son's behalf and claiming the tax deduction on your tax return. State benefit fund taxes, we'll just say that we don't live in one of those states. Personal property tax, that would be like your car. So we'll say yes. And we'll say that it was based on the value of the item. Is it charged on a yearly basis, even if it's collected more or less than once per year? What about local benefit taxes? Let's just say we paid all of them. They were imposed on us. Were they for the maintenance, repair costs, or interest charges of that local benefit? So, sure. So each of these different taxes, so Let's say, let's go through each of these because there will be a different kind of walkthrough, and it's worth kind of going through each of these. So when it comes to real estate, it says you can't claim the personal and investment related real estate taxes on Schedule A. You can't deduct foreign taxes that you paid on real estate either. For local benefit taxes, you can claim the personal or investment related local benefit taxes on Schedule A. They're deductible if they are used to meet maintenance, repair costs, or interest charges. So those do not increase property value, but if you were paying taxes because part of the funds were used to generate, you know, money for the local park that they just built, that's an improvement that wouldn't be tax deductible. So personal property taxes, you can claim those. Uh, Only the amount that's based on the value of the item uh, and charged on a yearly basis. State benefit taxes, you can't claim the state benefit fund taxes as an itemized deduction. It's not a mandatory contribution, so you can't claim that. Sales taxes, you can generally claim uh, general sales tax. You can deduct the actual cost if the tax rate was the same as the general sales tax rate. However, sales taxes on food, clothing, medical supplies, and motor vehicles are deductible as a general sales tax, even if the tax rate was less than the general sales tax rate. If you use the actual expenses, you have to have actual receipts. You can deduct your state and sales tax or the state and local income tax, but not both. So you should compare them. And then if you paid a sales tax on a motor vehicle at a higher rate than the sales tax, you can only deduct the amount that you would have paid at that sales at the general sales rate. And then there's a little bit of guidance on other taxes. Gift taxes aren't deductible. You can't deduct fines and penalties paid to a government for law violations. Uh, let's see. Uh, you can take a tax deduction or a credit for taxes imposed by a foreign country or a U.S. possession, but you can't take a deduction or a credit for foreign income taxes that was paid on tax exempt income under the foreign earned income exclusion. You can't deduct personal license fees. You can't deduct state or local per capita taxes. You can't deduct social security tax, excise tax. So the first criteria is that you have to be able to itemize your deductions on Schedule A. So once you're able to itemize, then you can consider whether or not whether you're better off itemizing deductions or taking the standard deduction. So one thing I always recommend is when you go through this, you have an option to print the screen down below. So you should do that and then go over this question answer matrix. Now I hit yes to every single question just so that it would spit out close to all of the possible answers. Generally, people might be interested in this walkthrough for one or two answers. So to keep the length down, you could do that. Just walk through the one or two answers that you need a little bit more guidance on. And then once you're happy with this, what I would recommend is that anything that you use from the IRS website, you should print it out for your own records. And the reason why you want to do that is because if you do get audited by the Internal Revenue Service, this will help you serve as kind of a record. It's not official, it doesn't count. If you made a mistake, you're going to have to make it up. But what it does do is indicates a layer of due diligence that you worked through. So even if you made a mistake, at least it wasn't an intentional, it wasn't a reckless disregard. So the odds are a little bit more likely that you'll get the benefit of the doubt as you walk the examiner through your situation. So print this out, make sure the answers are correct, go back through the form a couple of times if you catch a mistake, and then keep this in your tax record. And it'll also help you kind of walk through your situation to make sure that you know the facts hands down, and that you're confident that your tax assessment is correct. So we'll put links in the show notes to some of the articles and other videos that I think would help you through this situation. And we'll put a couple of links to some of the articles that would be relevant in this conversation, such as Schedule A, the foreign earned income exclusion, things of that nature. So we'll put those in the show notes for your access. If you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. And if you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions or comments, please post them in the show notes. Thank you very much and have a great day.